Hook, $8 billion vanished from FTX while regulators, investors, and the media called SBF a genius. The backdoor was hidden in plain sight. Hook_END.
Pattern_interrupt. In early 2022, Sam Bankman-Fried, known as SBF, was on the cover of Forbes, Fortune, and Bloomberg. He was worth $26 billion on paper. He testified before Congress. He donated millions to politicians. He was called the next Warren Buffett, the next JP Morgan, the next genius of crypto. And he was running a giant hole in the ground. Cliffhanger, a hole that swallowed $8 billion of customer money. How did he do it? And why did nobody see it coming until it was too late? The answer lies in a single line of code. Act 1, The Genius Myth. Pattern_interrupt, FTX was founded in 2019. It was a cryptocurrency exchange, meaning it let people buy, sell, and trade digital coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Simple business model, charge a small fee on each trade, and you make money. But SBF had a bigger vision. He created a sister company called Alameda Research. Alameda was a hedge fund that traded crypto. And here's where it gets interesting, Alameda was FTX's biggest customer. Pattern_interrupt, imagine you own a casino. And you also own the largest gambling team that plays at your casino. That's a conflict of interest, right? But in crypto, there were no rules. No regulations. No oversight. SBF controlled both the exchange and the biggest trader on that exchange. By 2021, FTX was processing $10 billion in daily trading volume. The company was valued at $32 billion. Investors like Sequoia Capital, SoftBank, and Tiger Global poured in. They were betting on the genius. Cliffhanger, but the genius had a secret. And that secret would cost everyone everything. Act 2, The Hidden Backdoor. Pattern_interrupt, here's the core of the scam. Customer deposits on FTX were supposed to be segregated. In a normal exchange, your money sits in an account that the company cannot touch. If you deposit $100, FTX holds $100 in a separate, protected account. But SBF didn't do that. Instead, he created a secret backdoor in FTX's code. A backdoor that allowed Alameda Research to borrow an unlimited amount of customer funds. Pattern_interrupt, think of it like a bank robber who builds a hidden tunnel from the vault to his house. Except in this case, the vault was digital, and the tunnel was a line of code. By early 2022, Alameda had borrowed $8 billion from FTX customers. Where did the money go? Into risky bets, political donations, celebrity endorsements, and luxury real estate in the Bahamas. Pattern_interrupt, SBF bought a $30 million penthouse. He spent $100 million on naming rights for the Miami Heat arena. He gave $40 million to political campaigns. He paid Tom Brady and Steph Curry millions to promote FTX. All of it was funded by customer deposits. Cliffhanger, but in November 2022, the house of cards started to crumble. Act 3, The $8 billion Heist. Pattern_interrupt, on November 2, 2022, a crypto news site called CoinDesk published a leaked balance sheet from Alameda Research. The document showed that Alameda's largest asset was a token called FTT, a token created by FTX itself. Imagine a bank that lists its own stock as its primary asset. That's what this was. Alameda was essentially printing its own money and counting it as wealth. Pattern_interrupt, within days, Binance, FTX's biggest rival, announced it would sell its entire FTT holdings. Panic spread. Customers rushed to withdraw their money from FTX. But the money wasn't there. In 72 hours, $6 billion in withdrawal requests poured in. FTX could only cover a fraction. On November 11, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Pattern_interrupt, the total hole, $8 billion. SBF's response? He tweeted, "I'm sorry. That's the biggest thing." He was arrested in the Bahamas, extradited to the US, and convicted on 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy. In March 2024, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Cliffhanger, but here's the lesson that applies to every investor, every entrepreneur, and every person with a bank account: the genius label is a trap. Act 4, the lessons that cost $8 billion. Pattern_interrupt, Lesson 1, trust, but verify. SBF was charismatic, articulate, and backed by billionaires. But none of that replaced basic due diligence. If you don't understand how an investment makes money, don't invest. If the CEO can't explain their balance sheet, run. Lesson 2, segregation matters. In traditional finance, customer funds are protected by law. In crypto, that protection was optional. Whenever you deposit money anywhere, ask, is this money insured? Is it segregated? Can anyone else touch it? Pattern_interrupt, Lesson 3, when something is too good to be true, it usually is. FTX offered zero trading fees, high yields, and relentless marketing. The goal wasn't to build a sustainable business, it was to grow fast enough to cover the theft. Lesson 4, charisma is not competence. SBF spoke in a robotic monotone. He wore t-shirts. He played video games during investor meetings. People called him quirky. But quirky doesn't mean honest. Pattern_interrupt, the final lesson: every financial system needs independent verification. FTX had no board of directors. No independent auditor. No regulatory oversight. It was a teenager with the keys to the candy store. SBF stole $8 billion. But the bigger crime is that he was allowed to. Cliffhanger, so the next time someone tells you about a genius who's changing the world, ask yourself, where's the money coming from? And where's it really going? Pattern_interrupt, because in the end, genius is just a story we tell ourselves to justify ignoring the red flags. And red flags, unlike genius, are always real. Thanks for watching. If you want to understand the next financial scandal before it happens, hit subscribe. And if you want to know how to protect your own money from the next SBF, check out the video on the screen now.